Hi everybody, it's Marcy and I'm back with the cover of my beach themed journal. I'm loving the way everything came out. Everything has now dried. I was able to get the elastic cord through, and what I did, just so you know, is I used one of my husband's old flathead screwdrivers, and I went out to the garage on the concrete. I put it in and I used a rubber mallet and just banged it through, and it made two perfect rectangular cuts for me that I was able to get the elastic through, and then I've Fabri-tacked those down really well to hold them. So I was able to take the closure from the original book and make it a closure for this one. And it's got plenty of give to it. So I've got lots of room for expansion. So there's that. I was happy that that came out well. So now that everything is dry and ready, I've got this fabric, and again, I had used some heat and bond on the back and put a piece of tissue paper behind it. And then I stitched around it. I don't know what, the stitching I did, I frayed the fabric a little bit on the top and bottom, but I didn't want it to fray forever. So I just threw a quick stitch around it. Now what I'm going to try to do is get this lined up. I cut it 3 inches wide so that it would cover my spine and leave 1/2 inch on each side. And I think, just because I don't trust myself, let me back up to show you how I got my measurements. My spine is 1 1/2. Then I have a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here. So that makes it 2. So then 1/2 inch on this side would be 2 1/2, and 1/2 inch on this side would be 3. So that's how I came up with making it 3 inches wide. And I'm just going to give myself a little mark there so that as I'm laying it down, I can try to get it spread evenly across that 1/2 inch span. And I think for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-tack. Part of the reason being is now I've got fabric where some of it will be, and so to be sure I get good adhesion, I'm going to go ahead and use Fabri-tack. And I am going to just put the Fabri-tack straight onto my piece. I'm not sure what I got on the back of that tissue paper, but something, but it doesn't show through, so I'm not concerned about it. Probably something I picked up off my desk, some ink or something. And now, because I've got the adhesive and the tissue paper, I'm not as concerned about my Fabri-tack seeping through. And again, I'm just going to use my little silicone face mask brush and try to get that spread out as close to the edges and stuff as I can. And get that picked up. Bring my book back over. I can already tell I should have pulled out a wet wipe before I started. Okay, I've got it right to the edge of my two marks. So that looks pretty good. Before it gets completely set up, I want to go ahead and use my bone folder in the gutter here so I can be sure that my book will move well. All right, looks like that's going to work. I can say for myself, and I need to make note of this, I think the 1/2 inch will be fine. I think if it were me and just for my own security purposes, at this moment, now this is going to be covered and the edges of this will be covered, which will further secure it. But at this moment, without having done that, I think I'd rather have a little more than the 1/2 inch on each side. Now that I am pretty sure would also just be kind of overkill. Okay, but that looks like that's going to work beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and I want to let this dry for just a few minutes, and then I will come back and we'll take care of the inside, front, and back covers. I'm back, and my spine covering is in and dry, and everything looks wonderful. It seems to be very securely sealed. So I'm ready to move on. I've got these 2 pages for my inside front covers. This was actually fly sheets from the journal I took apart, and then I added a muslin fabric pocket using the Antique Beach Beauties, and I stenciled a couple of palm trees on them. And so I'm ready to put these in. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac again, since I will be gluing on both paper and fabric. And just like with the other stuff, I want really good coverage since it's part of the cover. I haven't even really gotten started with the journal, and I'm already having all sorts of fun with it, just printing on different mediums and stuff. And then Julie did a video talking about printing digitals on a variety of papers, like that needs to scoot up a hair. Yeah. Like printing on graph paper and stuff like that. Stuff you might not ordinarily print on, because in this challenge you can use the digital but whatever you print up on does not count as one of your 15 items. So like in my case here, at least thus far, because I've not used the fabric, the spine enlarging was allowed. She made that a freebie, so I don't have to count the fabric there. But then because I've printed printed digitals on my muslin, I wouldn't really have to count the fabric for that either, which previously I was doing, so that will actually free me up to use something else if I want to. Okay, now I want this to hold, so I'm going to use my little sewing clips to clamp these down for a minute. Come over here and do the same thing. And then once it actually dries, if I find that I've got areas that I didn't apply enough glue, I can add more. And yes, on this side I'm using lots of clamps, but remember this side is the side that also has the ends of that elastic band on it. So I want to be sure that, since it does have that little, those two little bumps in there, that we get good seal. I may not have gotten right up to the edge with my glue as it's kind of appearing, but I'll know in just a couple of minutes. Okay. So that means I'm going to have to let that dry before I do the other side, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and everything is dry. I went ahead and glued down the other pocket so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. I did, on this one, have to go back around some of the edges and add a little more glue. I did a much better job of getting this one down. But now everything is down. I don't have any sides lifting, no corners lifting. No, nothing. I've got these great little pockets here. So that is the cover for my journal. I'm sure I will add some embellishing to the front here. I just don't know what. And here down the spine, I'll see after I've got the signature sewn in, I may end up adding some lace or something here. We'll see. But I'm loving this so far. I'm really happy with that. And now I've got to go back and dye some of my lace to get it ready and start making some embellishments. So I know this is a short video, but I wanted to show you the finality of me getting this journal cover put together, because this is certainly a new method for me, using all the printed fabric and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this, and everybody please be safe, stay healthy, happy crafting, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.